In February 2025, Attorney General Pam Bondi stood before a room of carefully selected influencers, flanked by towering binders. The message was clear. The Epstein client list was finally coming! After years of promises, including Donald Trump's explicit 2024 campaign pledge to release it. Justice was imminent. The binders contained mostly documents already public for years. By July 2025, a Department of Justice memo made it official. There was no incriminating client list and no credible evidence of the blackmail operation that witnesses, investigators, and even a federal prosecutor had described for nearly 2 decades. The same DOJ memo confirmed Epstein harmed over 1,000 victims, more than 4 times what Bondi had claimed months earlier. No new arrests, no prosecutions. The pattern held. This is not a story about what happened. We know what happened. This is a story of what didn't happen afterward, and why the same pattern of elite impunity repeats across institutions that appear to have nothing in common. When Alexander Acosta was being vetted for Labor Secretary 2017, he offered the Trump transition team an unusual explanation for the sweetheart plea deal he'd given Jeffrey Epstein in 2008 as a federal prosecutor. According to reporting by journalist Vicky Ward, Acosta told them Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone. In September 2025, Representative Anna Paulina Luna stated publicly what investigators had known for years. It is possible Epstein was a foreign intelligence asset. The infrastructure for this had been documented for decades. Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine's father, was a confirmed Mossad asset who received a state funeral in Israel attended by 6 serving heads of state. Ari Ben-Menash, a former Israeli intelligence officer, has claimed the Epstein-Maxwell operation began as a Mossad honeypot in the 1980s. Victim Maria Farmer, designated Jane Doe 200, in court documents, has stated that Epstein told her directly of his teen. Epstein Co. founded Carbon 9/11 with former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, a surveillance technology company marketed as a 911 replacement system. Barak visited Epstein over 30 times between 2013 and 2017, including trips to the private island. Leaked emails from 2025 show Barak thanking Epstein for a great impressive island. Carbon's founders came from Unit 8200, Israel's Signals Intelligence and Cyber Warfare Division. Peter Thiel, founder of Palantir, the surveillance company with deep contracts across U.S. intelligence agencies, also invested in Carbon. The company pitched its technology to the Trump administration as pre-crime AI, capable of detecting mass shooters before they act. None of this was secret. It was reported, documented, and ignored. This is the part conspiracy theorists got right 15 years ago. The infrastructure was visible. The connections were documented. The only theory was whether anyone would ever be held accountable. They never were. Theory was whether anyone would ever be held accountable. They never were. MIT's Media Lab received $150,000 from Epstein Foundations between 2002 and 2017, with funding flowing to AI research, consciousness studies, and mind-machine interface projects. Marvin Minsky, co-founder of MIT's Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, received Epstein funding and was later accused by Virginia Gifford of sexual abuse. Nicholas Negroponte, founder of the Media Lab, defended continuing to accept Epstein money even after his 2008 conviction. The funding pattern was consistent: transhumanism, brain research, genetic engineering, consciousness uploading. Epstein's stated goals included seeding his DNA widely and pursuing biological immortality. He funded organizations like Humanitics and researchers working on optogenetics and cryonics. Joito, director of the Media Lab, received $525,000 for the lab plus $1.2 million for his personal investment funds from Epstein directly. Bill Gates allegedly donated $2.2 million to the Media Lab through Epstein. Leon Black paid Epstein $158 million for financial advice after the 2008 conviction, claiming it saved him $1 to $2 billion in taxes. A January 2020 investigation by law firm Goodwin Procter found what internal investigations always find: Poor judgment, but no criminal liability. Black resigned as Apollo CEO, donated $200 million to women's initiatives, and faced no charges. Ita resigned from NIT, no prosecutions. It took the Miami Herald's Julie K. Brown and her November 2018 investigation to force the Epstein case back into public view, a decade after the original sweetheart deal. Her reporting proved what victims had been saying for years. The response was not prosecutions of the powerful. It was Epstein's arrest and his convenient death in a federal jail. Prince Andrew settled a civil suit with Virginia Giuffre for an undisclosed amount. No criminal charges. Jess Staley resigned as Barclays CEO over no criminal charges. Ehud Barak faces no consequences despite documented island visits and co-founding a company with Epstein after his conviction. J.P. Morgan enabled Epstein's operation as his banker for years, eventually settling lawsuits. No executives prosecuted. Les Wexner gave Epstein power of attorney over his $1.4 billion fortune in 1989 and gifted him what was then the most expensive private residence in Manhattan. An internal investigation found no wrongdoing. The DOJ refuses to release over 10,000 videos and images allegedly showing child sexual abuse material and other pornography. Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Steve Bannon, Bill Gates, all named in documents, all deny wrongdoing, none charged. Only Ghislaine Maxwell serves time 20 years in federal prison. She is the only person in this network to face criminal consequences. The Invention Secrecy Act of 1951 allows the federal government to suppress any patent deemed detrimental to national security. What qualifies as a threat to national security? A 1971 leaked category list included power supply, propulsion systems, meteorology, unique materials. As of fiscal year 2025, there are 6,543 active secrecy orders on patents. Solar panel technology was among the categories restricted 50 years ago. The mechanism is elegant. An inventor submits a patent application. A government agency reviews it. If the technology is deemed sensitive, the patent is classified, and the inventor is prohibited from developing, discussing, or selling their own work. Compensation is limited to 75% of proven damages. Damages the inventor cannot prove, because they cannot use the invention. Some secrecy orders have lasted decades. One cryptograph patent was suppressed from 1936 to 2000. Private inventors without government funding can still have their patents classified. The criteria for classification remain classified. There is no citizen review panel, no independent oversight, no public accounting of what technologies have been suppressed or why. Electric vehicles existed before gasoline cars. The Baker Electric Company sold thousands of EVs in the early 1900s, some with ranges exceeding what modern EVs achieve today. The petroleum industry did not become dominant because gasoline was better technology. It became dominant because the infrastructure was built to favor it. What other infrastructures were not built? What other technologies never reached the market? The answers are literally classified. When conspiracy theorists said free energy was being suppressed, they were mocked. But 6,543 patents don't suppress themselves. Solar technology was restricted a half a century ago not because it didn't work, but because it did. On August 8, 2023, the Lahaina wildfire killed at least 102 people, destroyed over 2,200 buildings, and caused an estimated $5 to $6 billion in damages, the deadliest American wildfire since 1918. The fire spread through Lahaina, once called the Venice of the Pacific, which had been transformed over a century of plantation-era water diversion into brushland-prone, to exactly this kind of catastrophe. Water official M. Leo Manuel delayed the release of water for firefighting on August 8. West Maui Land Company requested water at 1 p.m. Approval came at 6 p.m. By then, the fire was already spreading through Lahaina. In October 2024, ATF investigators ruled the fire accidental. In August 2024, a $4 billion settlement was proposed involving the state of Hawaii, Maui County, Hawaiian Electric, Kamehameha Schools, West Maui Land Company, and telecom companies. The settlement includes no admission of liability from any party. Governor Josh Green announced a moratorium on land sales in August 2023 to prevent wealthy interests from exploiting the disaster. By June 2024, a FEMA study showed median rents had increased 44% since early 2023. Native Hawaiian water rights restoration, decades in the making, now faces rollback under the banner of fire prevention. Hawaiian Electric claims its power lines were deactivated hours before the fire began. Witness accounts describe sparks from downed lines and high winds. Insurance companies are fighting the settlement, seeking reimbursement for the $2 billion they've already paid out. Money flows. Liability is denied. No one is accountable. All right, everyone, thanks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and come back.
Nicaragua! This is the only way forward. Anyone who stands in our path will be removed.
Breach is complete. Our last line of defense is falling. We need to activate the failsafe protocol, now!
I tell you, the bird ain't right. What the hell?
They'll make the probes gay.